Hello Blenheim Youth and welcome to your 30-minute practice. It's been a couple of weeks, so just as a reminder, all you need is your mat, some space, and a water bottle if you need it. We're going to start today in a seated position, and this can be any seated position that you wish. Just make sure you're comfortable. So you can think about peeling any flesh away from your sits bones. Maybe you want to cross the legs. Maybe your hips are feeling particularly tight today, so you cross the legs loosely without actually overlapping. And so from wherever you are, just place the hands on the thighs, and then sit up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders down and back. And just gently close your eyes. From here, just begin to tune into any sounds around you. Begin to notice the most farthest sound away from you. You don't need to identify what it is, but just become aware of it. And then begin to identify sounds that are a little bit closer to you. Perhaps in the next room over, maybe in your space. You don't need to identify what it is, but just notice that it's there. And then begin to become aware of the closest sound to you. Perhaps this is the sound of your breath. Maybe a fan or a creaking in the floor, whatever it is, just notice that it's there. And then begin to become aware of the back plane of your body. So starting at the crown of the head, scanning down through the back of the head, the curve of your neck, behind the shoulders, the upper back, the middle back, the blades of the shoulders, and the lower back. Scanning the backs of the hips, through your bottom that's connected to the ground beneath you. And then from here, notice the other parts of the body that are connected with the ground. Maybe the outsides of the feet. And then become aware of the weight of your body on the mat. Where can you feel distribution of your weight? And without moving, can you notice any uneven weight distribution? Maybe the parts of your legs that are overlapping. Maybe you feel a little shifted one side or the other. And then from here, can you take your awareness to your breath? And just begin to notice, without changing the breath at all, how it gently glides in and out of the nostrils. With your lips gently sealed, noticing the flow of the breath. And where does your inhale land within the body? And can you feel the sense of relaxation and ease as the body exhales? Breathing in and breathing out. And imagine with every exhale, you're able to soften the body. Perhaps loosening your grip on the knees with the fingertips. Maybe you can relax and soften the shoulders a little bit. Or perhaps you're able to soften the jaw even more, allowing the top and bottom rows of teeth to gently separate and the tongue to rest on the roof of the mouth. Maybe you can smooth out the forehead and relax the muscles around your eyes. And then from here, beginning to lengthen and deepen the breath. Allowing the breath to touch deeply in the body, expand expanding the lungs from bottom to top, elevating through the chest. And then as you breathe out, notice that the chest and then the lungs deflate as you completely release. Inhaling to fill the belly, the lungs, and the chest. And then exhaling to release from the chest, the lungs, and then the belly. Breathing in from the bottom of the torso all the way up to the top, and then breathing out from the top of the torso down to the bottom. And then allowing this breath to act as a barometer for your practice today, a pacemaker, if you will. Giving ourselves permission to link breath and movement. So this practice of yoga can be as a moving meditation to calm your mind. So you can find yourself in the present moment and ease your being. With your next inhalation, sweep your hands high with palms facing together. Lift the gaze beyond the fingertips. And then exhale, let hands pass through heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, lift the gaze. Exhale, fingertips and palms touch, passing through heart center. Once more, inhale, sweep the hands high. And then exhale, close with hands in front of heart center. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown. Exhale, interlace your hands, push the palms away, tuck the chin and round the back. Inhale, push the palms up as you lift through the chin. Exhale, tilt to the left, looking beyond the right armpit. Inhale to center. Exhale, tilt to the right, look beyond the left armpit. Inhale to center. And then exhale, let the hands meet in front of the heart. Inhale, sweep your palms up, lift the gaze. Exhale, left hand meets behind the spine, right hand to the outer left thigh. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to gaze beyond the left shoulder. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen up through the spine. Allow the twist to originate from the belly button and above. Inhale, sweep the left hand up and over, landing on the outer right thigh, stacking the elbows. Reach both hands high and weave one hand inside of the other. So if you don't have access to this bind, that's okay. Take the fingertips, heels of the hand, forearms and elbows together as much as you can. And then with an inhale, lift the elbows up. Filling the belly, the lungs, and the chest. Emptying the chest, the lungs, and the belly. With your next inhale, release your bind. Sweep your hands up to the sky. Exhale, right hand behind the spine, left hand to the outer right thigh. Inhale, lengthen up. And then exhale, twist and gaze beyond the right shoulder. Melting both shoulders down away from the ears, turning the chin and finding a steady flow with the breath. Inhale, reach the right hand up and over, landing on the outer left thigh. Stack the elbows, reach the fingertips up and find your bind. So if you don't have access to weave one hand instead of the other, take the palms, forearms, and elbows together once more. Inhale, lift the fingertips and the elbows up. I'm creating a nice stretch through the back of the shoulders and the upper back. Inhale, release your bind, sweep your hands up. Exhale, place the hands down in front of you. Walk the knees beneath the hips and bring the wrists beneath the shoulders, finding tabletop position. From here, lengthen the crown of the head forward and the tailbone back. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, belly to spine. Inhale, belly drops, lift the chest, lift the chin. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, belly drops as the gaze lifts, broadening the chest. Once more, exhale. And inhale. Exhale, bring the big toes to touch. Widen the stance of your knees and nestle the hips on top of the heels. Walk the fingertips forward and melt the forehead down. So here, just allowing the physical body to relax in child's pose. I'm only lifting up so I can speak clearly. So allow your heart to melt down, relaxing and releasing any resistance from the shoulders or the hips. Find as wide of a stance as you need, with the big toes touching but not overlapped. And just notice that you're completely supported by the ground beneath you, so you really don't need to expel any effort to hold yourself up at all. And just a few more breaths here in this position. With your next inhale, lift the hips and the heart, glide forward. Bring the forearms down, and then walk the feet back so you're landing on the thighs. So the legs are completely connected with the earth beneath you, and I'll show you from the side here. So from here, the elbows are just underneath the shoulders with palms flat to the mat. Spread the fingertips out wide and take up some space. From here, glide the shoulders down and back and lift up through the crown of the head. Take a few moments with your breath here in this position. So if this is really intense for you, just don't lift up as high. Looking straight ahead, connecting with your breath, maybe you close your eyes. And with your next exhale, turn your chin beyond the left shoulder. So take your time here, moving slow. And try not to move beyond your edge. Ensure that you're able to maintain your breath through every range of motion. And then inhale, return to center. Exhale, guide the chin over top of the right shoulder. And just a gentle stretch through the neck here. Breathing in and breathing out. With your next inhale, return to center. And then exhale, remove the arms from underneath the shoulders and reach out through your left arm. From here, tent through the right fingertips. Reach the left arm away so the wrist is in line with the shoulder through the whole range. And as we reach, we'll roll into the left side of the body. So just a gentle stretch through the chest. We'll take the right leg and stagger it behind the left. So really opening here through the chest. So here you can let your head rest down to the mat, or you can hold it up. Whatever feels best for you. We're only here for a few breaths. With your next exhale, roll to the belly. And then reach out through the right arm, tenting the left fingertips. Inhale, reach the right hand away as you roll to the right side of the body and take the left foot behind the right, supporting the back. So again, just allowing the head to rest down here. And breathing in and breathing out. And fully supported. Connecting with breath. And just becoming aware of any sensations in the body without judging those sensations or labeling them as good or bad. They just are what they are. And with your next exhale, roll to the belly. Take the hands under the armpits. Bring the shoulders back and down and the elbows in toward one another. Inhale, press through the palms and lift the chest, finding upward dog. So if this position is too intense, don't straighten the arms fully and just come to a baby cobra. Beautiful. And then exhale, come back to a child's pose position, nestling the hips into the heels, walking the hands forward and melting the head and the heart down. And fully relaxing the entire body here. Watching as the breath fills the belly, the lungs, and the chest, and then is released from the chest, the lungs, and the belly. With your next inhale, lift the head, the heart, and the hips. Find tabletop once more. So wrists are beneath the shoulders and knees are below the hips. With your next inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. So I'll show you from the side here. Reaching back behind you, drawing your toes down toward the mat and flexing the heel away. So really strong through the core here, looking straight forward. So equal weight between both hands, and then exhale, bend into that right knee, and then press the heel up a little bit higher, engaging through the glute muscle. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, extend that right leg out. Pivot and plant the inside of the foot behind your left toes. And then inhale, reach your right hand high. Lift the gaze to look beyond the fingertips, so wrist is right above the shoulder here. You can stay here if you wish, or exhale, reach the right hand forward and down with the bicep hovering above the ear. If this is enough, stay here, or you can inhale and lift the right foot off from the mat. So breathing in and breathing out. And then exhale, returning to that tabletop position. Maybe a gentle sway from side to side. From here, we're gonna turn the middle fingers out and around so the inside of the forearm is exposed to the front of your mat, pardon me. And from here, we're just gonna draw circles with the body. So it's okay if the heel of the hand lifts off from the mat. And then we'll move in the opposite direction. So just bringing some synovial fluid or lubrication to the wrists. And coming back to center. Bringing the middle fingers to face forward. And with your next exhale, I'll turn the opposite way. Extend the left leg back. Toes point down, heel presses away, really strong and active through the core muscles. And with your next exhale, bend into the left knee. Draw the heel toward the glute. Inhale, push the heel up a little bit, engage through your bottom. With your next inhale, reach the left foot away. Pivot and plant the inside of the foot behind the right toes. And then inhale, reach up through the left hand. If you did so on the opposite side, exhale, reach the left hand forward and down. Bicep hovers above the ear. And if you did so on the opposite side, elevate the left foot off from the mat, finding modified side plank. So stay really supported through that right arm. We don't want the shoulders to cave up in toward the ear, the chest to cave down. So we're really thinking about pushing yourself away from the mat. And with your next exhale, come back to your tabletop position. And from here, we're going to turn the top of the hand down to the mat, so the palms are flipped up and the thumbs are pointing toward one another. So this is a very uncomfortable and unnatural position, but it's really good for mobilizing through the wrists. So if you need to, just keep the elbows bent here. Otherwise, just try to straighten them out. And again, don't move past the point of holding your breath. Make sure that your range of motion facilitates your three-part breath. So wherever you are, filling the belly, the lungs, and the chest, and then emptying the chest, the lungs, and the belly. And then from here, we're gonna walk the knees forward toward the fingertips, and then sit down on the heels to relieve the wrists. Circling out through the wrists, and finding some range of motion and mobility here. And then we'll interlace the hands and just begin to find waves. So elbows flare out, palms are just in the middle of the chest here. And if you can, draw these waves in the opposite direction. So I have to really think about it, but if you can do it, go ahead. Good, and then just shake out the wrists. Perfect. From here, come back into your tabletop position. Walk the hands forward just slightly, and then exhale, tuck your toes and lift the tailbone up and back, finding downward dog. So your feet are about bony hip distance apart. Heels are turned out to disappear behind the toes. Nice long spine. Looking down at the ankles, the shins, or the knees. Letting the crown of the head melt down between the biceps Inhale, lift your heels up high and start to walk forward between the hands. And then exhale, fold down. Melt your heart to your thighs, tuck your chin. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bow. Inhale, roll all the way up, sweep your hands over your head. And then exhale, take the hands in front of the heart center. Take your big toes to touch and slither the heels apart just slightly. With your next inhale, bend into your knees as you sit back as if you're sitting into a chair, and then reach the hands up with palms facing toward the sky. So we'll honor that very natural curve in the lumbar spine here, and just sink into the heels. Breathing in and breathing out, a little activation into the legs here. With your next inhale, shift into your right leg and let the left foot hover. Good, next inhale, stand up tall on the right leg and interlace your hands in front of the left knee. Beautiful, so if you happen to lose your balance, that's okay. Just get right back into it, slow and steady, and be mindful about your movement. From here, take your right hand to your right hip, and you're more than welcome to stay here, or inhale, open your left knee toward the left, and try to keep the chest square to the top of your mat, relaxing the shoulders and elevating nice and high through the crown of the head. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, place the left foot down beside the right, and just pedal through the heels. Beautiful. Take the big toes to touch once more. Inhale, reach the hands up with palms facing high. And this time with an exhale, hinge at your hips, sink into the heels and bend the knees. So again, finding that chair pose. So core is nice and strong. Elevating, reach through the fingertips. A little more weight through the heels. You should be able to see your toes beyond your knees. If not, send the hips back a little further. And with your next inhale, shift into your left foot and lift the right foot off from the mat. Let it hover. Inhale, straighten out the legs. Sorry, the left leg. And interlace your hands just under the right knee. Beautiful. So find your drishti, a focal point to look at. Take your left hand to your left hip, and then inhale, open up toward the right with the knee. Elevate up through the crown of the head. Breathe, find your balance. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, place the right foot down, and just pedal through the legs. Beautiful. So from here, you're at the top of your mat. With your next exhale, take your right foot and step it to the back of your mat. And then turn both toes forward and just pigeon toe the toes a little bit so the edges of your feet are parallel to the short edge of your mat. So your toes should be outside of the hips and outside of the shoulders. And we'll take the hands right to the hips. So from here, inhale, lengthen up through the crown. And then exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Push your knuckles down, lift your heart, inhale, gaze up. And then exhale, hinge forward. So leading with your heart, begin to bow. Pause when you're halfway down. Engage through your core. Shift the weight of the body into the balls of the feet. Peel your shoulders back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then exhale, bow the crown of your head down. If the hands come off the back, that's great. Push your knuckles up toward the sky. And if they don't, that's great too. Just leave them on the small of the back. Find your breath and let the crown of the head relax down. So try not to look forward. See if you can keep the gaze looking beyond the legs. And very gently exhale, release the hands and bring the fingertips to the mat under the shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands over to the right leg and draw your forehead to your knee. Try to keep the legs as straight as you can. center, lift up halfway. Exhale, walk the hands to the left. Bring the heart to the thigh, nose to knee. And then inhale, return to center, lift up halfway. Keep engaged through the core. Exhale, turn your toes out and your heels in. And then with your next inhale, sink your hips down and lift your chest, taking hands to heart center. Beautiful. So knees are open. They're actually going to be guiding toward the third or fourth toe instead of caving in inside of the big toe. We don't want that. It's a little bit too much pressure through the knees. So we just want to open up a little bit here. So nice and tall. Bring your arms out like a cactus. So elbows in line with the shoulders, palms open wide. And we're just going to sink here and breathe. So a little more weight in the heels. If you want to play with lifting up your toes, that's great. With an exhale, interlace your hands behind your head. And then with your next exhale, take your right elbow and draw it down to the right thigh. Inhale to center. Exhale, left elbow to left thigh. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. One more round. Inhale, center. Stay low. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, straighten the legs. Release your hands. And then exhale, step to the top of your mat and close your pose with hands at heart center. Beautiful. Next, inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale with wide arms, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reach for opposite elbows, tuck the chin. And if you wish, you can shake the head from side to side or nod. And then just soften the knees a little bit and just allow the upper body to get nice and heavy here. As if you're a rag doll swaying from side to side. And with your next exhale, release the fingertips to the mat or the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Once more, tuck the chin. Inhale, roll up through the spine, sweep your hands high, lift your gaze. Exhale, take hands in front of the heart center. And from here, just make sure you're evenly weighted through the four corners of each foot. So big toes are pointing forward. Elevate and activate through the thighs. Draw the kneecaps up a little bit. Scoop your pelvis up and draw the tailbone down without squeezing through the glutes. Relax your shoulders down and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Draw your chin in and back toward the throat, just slightly, and then close your eyes. Just begin to notice any sensations within the body. Without labeling these sensations or judging these sensations, just notice that they're there. Is there any tingling? Any urge within the body, maybe to move or shift? Maybe you notice some clenching, some tightness. See if you can soften a little bit. And here in this position, keeping a stable foundation, grounded into the mat beneath you, rooting down through the feet to rise and elevate through the crown. And notice that as you stand here with your eyes closed, the body begins to shift and sway ever so slightly. And allow yourself to release any controlled breathing. Bring into your awareness the sensation of gratitude. Something that you're thankful for. anything that you're thankful for in this moment, or any moment. Maybe you have a list of things that you can be grateful for today. And I urge you to always bring your awareness back to gratitude. For when we're thankful, we attract more to be thankful for. I am thankful for you joining in on the practice of yoga. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in. The light within me humbly bows toward the light within each and every one of you. Namaste.